Everyone, how are you? Hey, I'm sharing my week with you this week in the life of a fractional sales leader, including my work and fitness balance. So I've got my three themes this week for you, which have emerged from my client engagements during the week, and I'll share those a bit more soon. Those three themes this week that I will talk about are discount requests, agenda setting for client and prospect meetings, and pitch decks. Anyway, firstly, my fitness. So this week's been a little bit different. I have managed my 25 sit-ups, but I had to stop my push-ups because it seems that I've hurt my shoulder. So I'm taking a rest on that at the moment. I'll give you an update on my stats at the end. But I've managed to do my sit-ups every day, my 25 sit-ups. I've managed to do about 25k of walking and cycling too this week. Anyway, back to my themes for this week. The first one was discount requests. Listen carefully, there's quite a bit here. And I do have this on my website, so you can go and have a look at my website. But often, salespeople have the chance to support a client's request for a discount. So they like, yeah, of course I can help. Well, I often don't. And let me tell you why. Because discounting should be at the end of the sales process. Once the value has been presented and understood, and the client gets it, there'd be no need for a conversation about discounting. But it also forms a part of negotiations. So don't start discounting from the start. Leave it till the end if needed. So there are many other elements to negotiations than just the price and the discount. So make sure you address all the negotiation terms first before you talk about discounting. Understand exactly what the client's looking for after they've seen the value that you've presented. So it's not just the price, remember this. So by this, I mean negotiating on the terms of the engagement, on-site, off-site support work, product versions, consulting resource skills, what levels they need, the client being a reference site after, say, 6 months being live, when's the project going to start, all those sorts of things. Understand all the negotiation terms and discuss those with the client, along with, if you need to, any sort of discounting, but it has to be fair on them. So anyway, I've created, as I mentioned before, a sales cheat sheet for discounting. This is on my website. However, what I want to do is share with you the key points of that cheat sheet. The first one, and there are 9 of them, the first one is lead with value, not price. Discounts tied to value move much faster. Discounts framed as price sensitivity stall. Second point, bundle deals discount every time. You want speed, bundle it first, and then discount second. So the client's actually investing more. Of course, and this should be a given, is time limit your discount. Discounts aren't wide open for when the client chooses to move ahead with you. They're actually bound by the end of the month, by the end of the week, by the end of the day. And always position discounts for a period of time, not here's a perpetual discount for life. That doesn't work either. No one in your business will like that either. They must be conditional on signing too. Fourth point is trade something, anything. You don't just give it away. If you select nothing in return, expect delays because there isn't any other urgency from the client. They haven't got to give you anything barring a signature. For the best traders, you get a longer term contract. You're asking for case studies or a reference site. You have access to execs. They can provide or could be doing client advocacy for you in the future. Those sort of things are really important. Fifth point is be honest about deal risk. Approvers in your business can smell bluffing. Honesty speeds decisions. Spinning bullshit slows them down. Know the fast lanes. Point number 6. So know the fast lanes to internal discount approval. You're in the fast lane if your discount is small, it's a multi-product bundle, and it's for a long term. You'll get the business support just like that. But if you're in the slow lane, it'll be because you've asked for a large discount, full-term discount, and no value exchanged. No one in the business is really going to support that because you're just desperate and you're just giving things away. So play in that fast lane. Point 7, position the discount properly with the customer. Say something like, I can look at pricing flexibility if we can align on terms, scope, or timing. Never say to the customer, yeah, great, yeah, good question asking for a discount. Let me see what I can do. You've actually committed, because then if you come back and you can't give them anything, they're like, well, he obviously didn't try hard enough. Steve doesn't really care about our business. End of story. Okay. And when you've got a request form or something commercial that you need to complete internally about a discount, Your approvers, your manager, the CEO, whoever inside your business, is going to be looking for three things. Is the discount logical? The request, is it logical? Is there value being traded? And is there a precedent risk being set here? Oh, we always give discounts because it's the last day of the month. Well, all your clients are going to read into that and only call you and buy from you on the last day of the month. But short, sharp answers beat long stories. Finally, the mind shift. Discounts are not a concession or a favour. It's commercial. You've got to keep it commercial. So it's a commercial lever and it's a negotiation tool. So use them deliberately. Use discounts deliberately along with the rest of your negotiation, the give and the gets. So I've been working with one of my clients on discounts this week and it's been a fun exercise. Hey, so my second subject that I was talking about today, the second thing that's come through is, you may be surprised, but setting agendas for prospect and client meetings. You might say, really? How important is that? I always do that. Well, personally, I don't ever think that a subject line covers what your meeting should be about. When you agree with a prospect or a client to meet, own the meeting invitation and set the agenda immediately and send the meeting invite through. Using the word proposed agenda with some dot points helps show that flexibility, and with these bullet points include any other business aids with this too, because then the client has an opportunity to say, actually, I'm not coming to a meeting about these things. I actually come in about these things. So let's realign to make sure we're turning up together to the same meeting. That'd help, because I'm sure we've all been in meetings before where you turn up with your agenda in your head, the client turns up with what they're expecting, and actually the meeting's messy and it doesn't flow. There's no reference point. Oh, we're up to point 3. Oh, let's now talk about this piece. So the agenda helps provide a guide during that meeting too, and everyone in the meeting knows what is being discussed and potential actions to be decided. And of course, when that client invites other people in the business, they don't have to describe what the meeting's about because it's in the agenda and they can just forward it off to their manager, their colleague, and that they know what the meeting is about and what they're coming for, so they can prepare accordingly. So I know this may sound basic, but when you are disciplined with meeting agendas, then you will get more value from the meeting. And guess what? So will your prospect or client. After all, the prospect's agenda was just that. And the prospect or client may reply before the meeting and ask to include other items or move things out. So always use it as a proposed agenda. And finally, my third theme for the week was pitch decks. So how often do you get called out when making a sales call and the prospect says, is this a sales pitch? Well, funny you should say that. It's not actually, but at least you can honestly say, no, I'm not doing a sales pitch on the telephone to you, but I do have something prepared and I can actually prepare and present to you my sales pitch to you on Teams. When would be convenient to do that? And then I'll get into the detail about what the pitch should look like. But what it is, it's important for a sales and marketing team in your business to be aligned with company messaging and stories. It's all over your website, it's on your social media and all those sorts of things. So a lone ranger in the sales team, if he creates his own or she creates their own pitch sales deck presentation, and if the data doesn't align with what the client or prospect might have read on your website, on social media, then there's concern for who's telling the truth. So we always want to be singing from the same song sheet, on brand and with words and phrases matching your company's website and marketing content. That goes a long way when meeting the prospects and clients. So your pitch deck doesn't need to be 37 pages long. Not at all, definitely not. And I wouldn't encourage that. What I do encourage is at least 3 slides. Okay, the first slide is a statement about your company and 3 or 4 graphics which say and describe your size by, say, number of clients that you serve, your tenure of business, the regions where you operate and cover, and even your staff size. Gives the client that pitch of what they're dealing with, what the partnership could look like, what you look like. Then, value. Slide 2. What value you provide to clients who you currently partner with some examples, and include some graphics. So just to give, it's like telling a couple of quick stories. Hey, for this client in this industry, we're doing this. For this other client in this industry, we're doing this. And that resonates by and large with the prospect or client you're talking to. And then the third and final slide, remember, you could keep it to 3 slides. What you do and how you work. What do you do as a business and how you work? Again, use a couple of graphics, not pages of words and dot points like all the way down the page that run off the slide deck. Keep it clean. But boom, that can be it. Pitch decks. So got a few other ideas on that. So yeah, 2 clients that I have with pitch decks, and one pitch deck helps the outbound sales team pitch their business in a very competitive market space. The other pitch deck used by the other client probably needs a refresh since the graphics date back 3 to 4 years. Still by and large relevant with the messaging and everything. It's on brand, but probably, because they're a few years older now, they could actually be saying, hey, we're now X years old now, rather than what they were and their staff size and what they've done last few years. So yeah, keeping it relevant, but yeah, great opportunities for pitch decks and keeping them short and succinct. And of course, your prospect or client, showing them a couple of slides, they may well say, hey, can I take that in? I want to show my manager that. Well, actually, let us talk to your manager with you and run through that again. Don't give away stuff, because once you've given it away in an email, you've lost control of it, and you may never hear back from them again. So that's my week. Anyway, let me know if you'd like to discuss any of my observed themes. Yeah, there's some good things there each week that I come across. So just to wrap up, my exercises for this week. So I've biked, as I say, 25k, walked about 25k, done 774 days of sit-ups in a row. That's like more than 2 years. Push-ups, as I said, took a pause with my sore shoulder. So I was at 66 days in a row, and I've now paused for this past week to hopefully recover soon. So thanks, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll be in touch next week. Cheers.